everyone, I am a novice beekeeper. It has been 3 months now since I purchased my bees. I got them back at the end of April. I've done one hive inspection and I am about to harvest my own honey and wax for the very first time. So here is my loosely formulated plan. I usually don't plan much. I just kind of fly by the seat of my pants. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna suit up, go outside, check out the hive. If there is enough honey where I feel like I can harvest it, I'm gonna take just a little bit. Other than that, I'm gonna kind of check out the health of the hive, kind of see how many combs they have, how much brood, how much honey. I'm gonna make sure that the honey I harvest is capped honey, or also known as ripe honey, versus uncapped honey, unripe honey. Sorry for the redundancy there, just wanna get those buzzwords out because I'm kind of learning them as I go along. So I will be searching for capped ripe honey for harvest. You cannot eat the uncapped honey. Leave that a little bit longer. And if you don't leave it for the bees, then you can have it for yourself. But I'll just kind of inspect the hive, take a peek, see what I can see and see what I can get. So again, very excited. This is the main reason I wanted to have bees. I want to be able to harvest my own honey and wax and make medicines and foods and salves and candles and all sorts of things from their amazing goodness without stressing the hive out too much. Next year, I plan to get a second hive because I really don't think that I can harvest enough from just one hive, the amount that I would like to harvest for all of the things I intend on doing with the honey and wax. And we're also a family of 4 and we really like our honey. We don't eat a lot of refined sugar. We generally have honey as our main source of sweetening. So, it's gonna be really exciting to have this tiny little bit of self-sufficiency under my belt because it's always been my lifelong dream to be almost exclusively self-sufficient. And that has proven very challenging in this particular location where I live, and I don't necessarily foresee me moving anytime soon. So slowly, inch by inch, from the plants that I choose to put in the garden to the animals that I choose to invite into my life, I will have some semblance of a self-sufficient lifestyle. And my thought process is that I'm just kind of preparing for my future experience when I actually can afford a decent amount of land. I'll have plenty of gardening and animal husbandry experience under my belt, and at that point the sky will be the limit. So if I can turn my tiny, compact, poor soil quality suburban yard into a permaculture oasis, just think about what I could do with fertile soil and lots of sunshine. So I'm excited to share this little bee journey with you, and fingers crossed I don't disturb them too much. I think I might have put a little too much smoke in there, but I didn't go crazy with it. So I've seen people who do it without smoking the bees, and I've seen people who just give 1 or 2 puffs. I felt like they were starting to get a little bit agitated, so I just gave them a little more smoke to be safe. The tools that I'm using are pretty simple. I just bought a cheap long knife off of Amazon. If you can see here, they are actually building the comb up against the wall, which is completely normal. But you do run the risk of, if you just try to pull up the top bar without wiggling it or even potentially cutting through that secured piece there, you could just have the whole piece of comb detached from the top bar and then kind of smash down into the hive, and it would be a bit of a mess and very sad too. Once I choose the comb that I'm going to harvest, I'm just going to lay that on a clean baking sheet. I bought a very soft bristled paintbrush, again just kind of cheap off of Amazon, to gently brush away the bees. Once I have all of them off, I'm going to throw a towel over it so they can't get back onto it, because those bees love their honey. They're going to do whatever they can to protect it, maintain it, bring it back to the hive. And actually, after harvesting any residual honey that you have left over, you can literally just set it out by the hive and the bees will take it back and put it right back into use. Now, if you had a bowl with some honey at the bottom, you want to make sure that it's not a depth where the bees can drown, because they'll go in, they will drown. Just make sure it's a thin coating of honey, and that's completely safe for them. Just put it back right near the hive or on top of the hive, and they will take that back and put it right into use. So I love that. They clean it up so quickly. That saying exists for a reason. This whole process has been so rewarding, so easy, pretty economical, and overall just an absolute joy. My family and I really love watching the bees. We've had a magnitude of elderberries in the yard recently, and the bees were just obsessed. And watching them all over the flowers, it was just so beautiful to witness. And I loved knowing that those were my neighbors, my bees. They're such peaceful little dudes. They're such hard workers. They make amazing neighbors. And I encourage anyone who can to invest in a hive. So let's see what I can find today. Hopefully I can get a little bit to harvest, and then I will take you step by step through the entire process, from getting the comb out of the hive to getting the honey out of the comb, and then to rendering the wax. So it's going to be a huge learning curve for me. I've never done any of this before. I've watched a couple YouTube videos. I probably should be apprenticing under someone. That would be the ideal scenario, but I don't know anyone locally who has bees, so this is the best that I can do. Maybe by next year I will be a freaking pro. So let's see what happens. So here's what I got. And as you can see, this honey is all capped, so it's ripe honey. Now what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna cut this off my top bar here. Oh, it glides right through. Whoa! Maybe be a little more graceful than that. Or not. Whatever you're inclined to do, as long as you get the job done. I am gonna be very messy after this, I think. Okay, I don't want hair in my honey, but it's gonna stick to me. Hold on, wait, let me try this. There, that worked. I should have put my hair completely back. Note to self for next time, we're learning here. I am a novice beekeeper and I don't know what I'm doing. I'm gonna try to extract the honey from this comb. And I'm gonna use a method that I saw in one of the YouTube videos. I'm basically just gonna be breaking it up by hand, and I'm gonna be separating the honey from the wax. Oh wow, this is amazing. I know you can eat it like this too. And I'm just going to make sure that I crush every little honey cell and put it in here in this strainer. And this is just a strainer that I purchased through Amazon. It's like for making nut milks and things of that nature. It's a reusable strainer. And for the jar, I tried to get a wide mouth jar, but this was the widest I could find that still had this special kind of lid that allowed you to screw on the outer frame and leave the inner part open. I think I'm just gonna eat this. Oh wow, that is delicious. I can get used to that. I need a wider jar, I really do. This is not doing the trick. But I saw when people were using this kind of like cheesecloth strainery method, maybe it's because they were harvesting so much honey and I actually only have a little bit, but the cheesecloth wouldn't stay around the outer edge of the bowl that they were using and it would fall in. And so I kind of had this idea that if I used one of these jars, I could screw this lid on and keep the main opening able to receive all of this incoming honey and comb, but it would be tight enough that the weight of the comb and honey wouldn't make it collapse in on itself. We'll see how my method works. Once I'm done extracting all of the honey, I am going to render this beeswax because I want to keep both the honey and the beeswax from the hive, and I want to make candles and soaps and medicinal remedies, all sorts of things. This is a messy process. I bet you there's a cleaner way. Might not be cheaper though. This might be the cheapest way that I found. If any of you experienced beekeepers have any tips or tricks for me, please let me know. I'd love to hear from you. I'm trying, I really am. I'm trying to do the best I can. Oh, this goes without saying. You want to wash your hands before you do this. You want to have nice, clean hands. Oh, has this bowl been blocking the view the entire time? I'm such a bad YouTuber. Here we can see that the honey is already starting to come out of the bag, and the bag is retaining the solids like the wax and whatever kind of debris that might have collected in the wax. So now I'm going to figure out how to basically just extract as much honey as possible. Probably a bit of force will be helpful. I'm going to raise this cheesecloth up and readjust it with the lid, and also time. So force plus time equals honey, and that is my new mathematical equation, which I think is comparable to anything that Einstein has ever thought of. Pull this bag up, kind of squeeze down. That's my brilliant plan. It's kind of working. Yeah, I mean, I don't know how long I can do this. It is requiring some level of exertion and physical strength that I don't think I have. What I think I'll do is I'll just try to get as much out of the top as possible and then readjust my ring here. So when I put the ring back on, there's going to be a decent distance between the accumulated honey and comb and the honey that's pouring down into the bottom. That way I think we'll end up using as much gravity as possible for the extraction process, and I will take help wherever I can get it. So gravity, you take the wheel for a little while and see what happens. In the meantime, kind of sit this hot mess off to the side, put my already very dirty towel, well, not dirty, actually clean, but covered in honey towel over this. Or the flies would love, but at least they'll love the outside and not the inside. Then I'm just gonna work on kind of cleaning up this mess here. I got a long knife so I could get into hard to reach places in the comb. This makes me feel nervous. But I think this knife might be a little too long for my taste. I'm not an experienced swordsman. One slip, that's all it takes, and then you're an unhappy person. I honestly think if I reuse this, that the bees aren't gonna care. They're probably gonna like it because they will take this honey here and put it back to use, and they will start building right off of this comb that's already kind of preset there. So I'm not gonna worry about cleaning that off anymore. So we will cover up my baby and we will check on her tomorrow. This honey has been sitting, this honey and this moth have been sitting out overnight, very sticky. And as you can see, we got a decent amount. Oh, it smells delicious. Let's see if I'll be able to unscrew this here. I can only imagine. Oh, no wait, false alarm. I'm gonna do it. It just doesn't have a lot of grip because of the honey-soaked, slick bag that I've created. Okay, so what we have left is the wax with a little bit of honey and, you know, probably some dirt and all sorts of things that were in the hive, whatever small impurities the bees kind of imparted. And I am going to render this wax down now. Now, it doesn't look like I'm gonna get a lot, but hey, I'll take anything. And now we're gonna use this induction burner here, which does get pretty loud. I'm sorry about that. It also heats up pretty quickly. Wax melts at a low boiling temperature. So, I mean, the wax is really leaving this, and then it's going to solidify when the water cools down. Look at all the impurities that are kind of left behind. This is fun. I'm excited. I want to make chapstick. So it actually looks like a delicious chicken broth right now. Oh, can you see me? Hi! You can, I love this kind of stuff. You can already see that the wax is starting to cool and solidify on top. I am also covered in wax. I've had an amazing spa treatment, and once it gets a bit harder but still soft and malleable, I'm going to remove it from this pot. It's still probably gonna have impurities, and then we're just gonna pop it back in a clean bag and render it one more time the exact same way. And then we'll go ahead and pour it into this mold. I hope it fills at least just one of them. That would be ideal. I'd love to get a little bar of my own wax by the time we are all done this project. Wow, look at that.
Oh my god.
Stick your finger in there.
Wow, that's too much.
You're making a mess.
Oh my god, this is amazing. I'm sticky. Oh no.
Oh, did you get it in your hair? Oh, shoot. Cece. Okay,
Oh, no.
go wash that out. Hey, so what if I talked into a mirror for a second? I'm in a huge rush, no surprise. That's kind of the story of my life. I didn't get to go ahead and show you what the wax looked like after the pot had cooled down a little bit. Before it got completely cold and the wax was still slightly malleable, I went ahead and just took it right off the top of the water. The water went to the bottom, the wax rose to the top. It was super easy to come off. It came out in one full circle. I did break it up into a couple chips. I don't know why, maybe I guess it'll be easier to store that way. But I didn't get that much wax. That's okay, it's my first time. I think that the hive is gonna get more and more productive as we go on. Sorry that the end of this video is a bit of a rush and that I didn't kind of get to fill in that last step, but I've been cleaning toilets, now I have to take my girls to horse lessons, and then I have to fold some freaking laundry. What you see on the bed is only the tip of the iceberg, my friends. So I just wanted to go ahead and let you know that I didn't get to make a little block of wax using my mold because there wasn't enough wax, and by the time I melted it down in the pot to make it liquid so I could pour it into the mold, I would probably lose half of the wax that I already have in that process because it would get stuck to the inside of the pan, and I barely have any wax as is. So I'm just gonna go ahead and put this wax aside and store it, and next harvest I will just add to my current wax stash. And once I have enough wax, I'm gonna go ahead and start making candles and herbal preparations and everything that I mentioned before. So I am really excited. This is just the beginning, and I'm so happy to share this journey with you. And if you've made it to the end of the video, if you can like and subscribe, it means the world to me. I would really love to focus more on this channel, make it less of a hobby, more of a career, and your support is absolutely crucial for that. So thank you so, so much. And if you have any comments, I would love to hear from you. Please post your feedback below. So when you can, say hi, and until next time, I will see you later. Bye. Can you get my face and I can say bye? Bye, everybody. See you next time. Bye. Cool.